Hey, what's up everyone? This is Brian again. Today I want to speak about how I became about a self-taught programmer, and what was my journey like, and how did I land my first job, right? So let's get into it. First thing first, you kind of have to research on what type of developer you want to be. There are many different fields of developer. There are mobile developer, then there is iOS developer, and Android. These are mobile developer, and then there are web developers, which focus entirely only on application that are run on browser. Then there are developers such as operating system developers, which create an operating system technically, which a lot of today computer use, kind of like Linux, Mac, Windows. Then that's that type of developer. Then we have special system developers, which kind of focus on a kind of niche product, which you basically see these developers working on, kind of like a car radio station, monitor in the car. Those are like a special system engineers or programmer. The term is used here and there, like some people call it developer, engineer, programmers, but they're kind of similar, but it does matter where you work. Some places do take these terms seriously as to who you are and what type of programmer you are. If you ever decided to go to the mobile development, again, you have two options. One of them is iOS, one is Android, and I'm sure there are other other OS, but those are the two top and famous mobile development field that is very hot today. If you choose to go to web development, I personally think there is only two sides. Either you are back-end developer or front-end developer. So you have to choose whether you want to work more with the data and database and that type of environment, or you want to work in the front end, which creating a user interface and user experience on the application. Some people do know both in web development, and these people are called full stack developer, right? They can manage back end and front end, right? That's the web development route. If you decided to go with that route, then we have operating systems, and again, those are Linux, Windows, Mac, bunch of other ones, but I don't CentOS, Amazon Linux. But again, those are different. You have to see which operating system engineer you would like to be, and that's basically operating system programmers. Then a special system is kind of like it's kind of like a programmer that they use the other field like mobile web OS, but they're specialized in a subject in that field. So let's say, for example, web development, an example would be like Salesforce, right? Web development would be kind of like a WordPress developer, right? Or like React developer, or like Angular developer. So it's all up to you which one you feel comfortable, which one you like most, which one you're passionate about. So that's how you choose your developing style. Now, as in the research field, you should start once you decide what type of programming you want, start looking into the technology and documentation of that technology, and see what is truly about this technology that make it unique, right? What is it doing for developers, right? So I can give you an example like Bootstrap, right? It helps with the web developer to create a better user interface, because it comes with a predefined set of elements, elements, or Oh, what's the term for it? Give me 1 second, guys. So Bootstrap, documentation. Okay, so like layout content, right? And then forms and then component, right? So they come with a set of component in order to make the web developer job easier, and they can execute such as like accordion, alert, badge, inputs, and that type of thing. So that's web developer. That's you should read documentation about what technology in web development you like to proceed, right? I personally do full stack developer and mobile developer, so I am in 2 fields. Again, you don't have no limit. You can be in many fields as you want to be, but start from 1. Don't go from like 2 development together. Start from 1. Once you master, once you become very comfortable, once it becomes your skin, then I start looking into like other different type of developer. Yeah. So once you define your developer style, then I start reading documentation about different technology and what relate to your developing style, and then understand the basic algorithm. And what I mean by that is that you need to know a scripting language, no matter what. This is very important, especially web development now. With all these JavaScript frameworks, it's not just HTML, CSS like 1998, right? It's like you need to actually manipulate data in some sort of way. But once you know how to write algorithm, then you just need to know the basic. You don't need to know the fine algorithm, which you can find in Google and Amazon and those big companies. Of course, if that's your goal and that's where you want to go, you should focus on those algorithms and you should start learning. And there are websites like Let Code, which a lot of developers they teach you how to write those type of algorithms, right? So that's one thing for sure. So you do need to learn about algorithms. Learn about how to create your own algorithms, right? That's very important. Then in your research of becoming a developer, learn how to do data manipulation. So once you learn algorithms, you need to manipulate these data with your algorithm. So learn about data and how to manipulate data with your algorithm and that type of thing. Yep. So I will put a link in the description. So go ahead and and I can give you the best reference on where I learn my stuff. But you're always welcome to just Google and search about these topics. Once you learn about your style, the technology that you want to work with, and you learn the basic of algorithm and data structure, you can start creating tiny project. You don't have to create a next Google. You don't have to create the next Amazon. You just have to create projects where you're just capturing data from the database, and then you just do things with it, right? So like add milk, add almond to the list of blah blah blah, right? So yeah, just create this tiny project and then upload it into your GitHub or your GitLab. I prefer GitHub because it's so much better. A lot of companies use GitHub, and if they know that GitHub, it's definitely a plus, right? So upload your projects. Try to create at least 5 to 7 projects before you actually say, hey, I have a portfolio, right? I have some things that I have done. Once you create that GitHub repo and you create some projects, there are many project ideas. So Google it and then just come up with something, right? Create those. It doesn't matter if someone has done it already, clone it, create a clone of it, right? I see many people in our field have land job just cloning a project, right? Just because project managers or people who interview the HR, they just want to see, are you capable of doing things, right? So are you capable of if they assign you change a button, are you able to do that, right? So that's all they care about, right? Or are you able to manipulate data in certain ways? So yeah, so once you create projects, you can go into like get involved with developer communities, so such as like StackOverflow or GitHub repos, etc. And like you can like, you know, you can start like talk with other people and say like, hey, how, like read their comments, read their like what they're discussing about, right? So like as you keep reading about this stuff, your brain automatically get adjusted and you automatically become like a developer, you know, with time, right? Because you're like, wow, I'm in this, like I'm learning this, I'm being passionate, I'm helping the community, right? And like I'm seeing where the community is moving with all this software engineer term and roles and that type of thing. So yeah, so get involved into the community. So Stack Overflow, GitHub repos, anywhere where there is a forum about like developers, get involved in there, you know. Start like talking with people, start like ask people questions, start like answering the stuff that you know. So that's how you become a better developer. Once you've done that and you know you're kind of, you know, you have a little background of all this stuff, then start creating your own resume, create a LinkedIn account, right? And make sure you list all this stuff in there. So like list that I'm this type of developer, you know, I specialize in this, you know, this is what I have done, these are the projects that I have, and link them to you know, to that repo, right, in your LinkedIn account. Especially in your resume, like write down what project you have done, because recruiter would ask you, hey, can I see this project code, right? And you can just link it to there. Then you can always say like, hey, I get involved into community of developers, and this huge plus in your resume, that's huge plus in your LinkedIn, just because, you know, employers, they want to see you get involved with other people, you know, that's very important. But again, these are not all like written on the stone. There are different type of style of developers. You know, I know people who are introvert. I am introvert myself. I know people who are extroverts. So I'm kind of 50-50, right? I can be extrovert and I can be introvert. But like, so yeah. So write all this stuff that you have done. Talk about your project in your resume. And one thing I can recommend is that once you have all this stuff ready, don't apply for job anywhere between 11 a.m. until evening. You have to put your resume first thing in the morning. That's how HR get a lot of resume. And if your resume is like being sent from 6 a.m. to 10:30 and 11 a.m., you have the better possibility and chance of landing a programmer job. They actually care about this. I don't know why, but a lot of HR do care about this. Like they care about when did you send your resume. I'm gonna be honest, any job that I apply, if I apply in the morning, I get a call back no matter what. And again, but the portfolio is also important, right? I always get a call back. So that's it, guys. Like honestly, there's nothing to it, but remember, this whole process get repeat until you become a better developer, until you choose other fields of development. That's honestly my experience as a self-taught programmer. I didn't go to college for programming. I actually went to college for pre-med, and then I took a few semesters. Then I realized, hey, that's not me. I'm a computer guy, right? So yeah, I taught myself programming since age of 11. Then, you know, don't let that hold you back. Don't say that I'm not young and I'm not developer. Listen, I know people who are 40 years old and they're studying programming, right? And they're actually doing a better job than the person that went to college. Yeah, it's crazy. The field is insane. It's just how much drive and passion you have and how much it makes you happy when you code, when you do something. So if you can focus in that, if you can focus in yourself and, you know, try to teach yourself what type of programmer you want to become and start researching, then you can become a self-taught programmer, honestly. College do have a little bit of a perk, especially in algorithm and data structures. they do teach you more define of those terms. Also, college do teach you terminology, but if you're not like me and English is your first language, then that should not be a problem, right? I do still have a little problem in terminology of computer terms, but I don't let that hold me back, right? I still go after things that I want. I still, make programs. I still do my things. With that said, I am going to include the description in the bottom of where to go and where to get the resources about things. So please like my video, share my video, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.